first came to know him as a kid, but Michael Jackson grew up to be the world's most famous bachelor. Then came a marriage made in tabloid heaven to Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of a legend approximately the same wattage as her new husband. They said it would never last.
Lisa Marie Presley files for divorce from Michael Jackson.
And they were right.
Don't walk away.
After the two were divorced, Michael Jackson had started to worry that he would never become a father. Hearing that, Debbie Rowe, a nurse working for Jackson's dermatologist, came forward with an unusual offer.
I said, if you want to be a daddy, I want to do it.
In 1996, she became pregnant with Jackson's first child. It raised eyebrows across the world, in part because it didn't seem to be a romance, even by the standards of what constituted typical behavior from the eccentric superstar. This was a surprise.
I would never do this for money. I do this because I love him. That's the only reason I did this.
I just can't stop loving you.
Later that year, they were married in Sydney, Australia. Katherine Jackson was not present. 3 months later, Michael Jackson Jr., known as Prince, was born. Debbie talked about the new father.
He feeds him, he changes his diapers, he reads to him, he sings to him. If he's on the phone, the baby's in his arms. He takes naps with him. He's the... I don't need to be there. I don't need to be there. Because I'd have nothing to do.
A daughter, Paris, was born in 1998. A third child, Prince Michael II, known as Blanket, was born later to a surrogate mother whose identity has never been revealed.
Just leave me alone.
Michael Jackson and Debbie Rowe divorced in 1999, with Debbie giving up her parental rights in return for a cash settlement and a home in Beverly Hills. After Jackson was accused of child molestation for the second time in 2004, Rowe went to court to try to reclaim custody. A year later, on the stand in Jackson's criminal trial, she said he'd been a great father and that she saw the children every 45 days for about 8 hours. The custody case hadn't been resolved when Michael Jackson died.
After Michael had passed away, there was a concern about what was happening with the children. For Debbie, I had extended out a little bit to some people to see if we could make a connection with some family members.
Mark Schaffel is more than the producer of the promotional interview for Katherine Jackson's book. He says he was also, after Jackson's death, the go-between for his friend Debbie Rowe and Katherine Jackson. In her interview, Katherine Jackson reveals something surprising. Despite Debbie Rowe's marriage to Michael and her role as biological mother of Michael's 2 older children, Debbie and Katherine didn't know each other.
I had met her before Michael died. We met and we clicked right away.
You actually brokered the sort of first meeting between Mrs. Jackson and Debbie.
We got both parties together. No paparazzi, nobody knew, no lawyers knew, no representatives knew.
And how'd they get along at that first meeting?
They looked at each other and tears just started running down both their eyes.
Katherine tells the same story.
We cried together. We talked. We had a nice time together. Because when we met, it was just Michael we thought about, mostly, and the children.
How important are the kids to you, Debbie?
After Jackson's death, there was a lot of speculation about what Debbie Rowe would want to do.
All the rumors about Debbie Rowe wanting to take the children away, completely false. Debbie's happy with the arrangement, the way Michael left it. And she sees nothing wrong with me raising the children. And I respect her and love her for that.
She had no problem letting Mrs. Jackson step into those shoes. She wants to be part of the children's life.
In the case of Paris and Prince, they know she's their biological mother.
Yes, Prince and Paris know that Debbie's their biological mother.
Since that tearful first meeting, Debbie has been spending time with her 2 biological children, Prince and Paris, at the Jackson home, and with Blanket as well, so that he doesn't feel left out.
You know Debbie Rowe pretty well. Does she have any concern that those kids can't be taken care of adequately by an 80-year-old woman?
Absolutely not. She has every faith that Mrs. Jackson will do a wonderful job. I mean, she's got so much experience. You know, she's raised 9 children.
According to Michael's will, should something happen to Catherine, Diana Ross is next in line to care for the children. Schaffel says Debbie is also ready to help, if asked.
Debbie is the children's biological mother, and she will always be there for them. If Mrs. Jackson wasn't available, Debbie would be right there.
For now, Debbie continues to spend time with the Jackson children as she and Catherine figure out what's best.
Debbie's the children's biological mother, and I feel that she should be in their life and the children should know her.
Coming up, no matter